Hello everyone, it's me, it's Jack from WhatCulture.com, and a new superstar has announced their inclusion into the 2017 Royal Rumble. And also, in another shocking turn of events, John Cena defeated someone this week on SmackDown. Without further ado, let's have a look at all the ups and all the downs. Which one will win, the ups or the downs? Who knows? Let's see, let's find out. We start off with an up. Even though it was a talk show segment, I don't really like wrestlers' talk show segments, because why would a wrestler be interested in hosting a talk show? Especially when Dean Ambrose was WWE champion. Why did he care about the Ambrose Asylum? Now he's Intercontinental champion, and it's still rather unforgivable for me, but I have forgiven it because this segment was so good. I'm working off a very loose script this week, as you can probably already tell. Ambrose had an alligator's head with him and he named it Maurice, and then right on cue, Maurice and The Miz came out, and then Miz has all sort of gone a bit crazy because he's lost the Intercontinental Championship and he's gone a bit American Psycho, and he kind of attacked Ambrose, but then Ambrose ducked, and then Maurice hit The Miz, and then Ambrose hit Dirty Deeds, and it was all, it was all very good. It continues the feud between them. For a talk show segment, which again I really am usually not a fan of, it was perfectly decent, so it gets an up. Speaking of things I don't like in wrestling, we had another one of those right on the tail of the talk show segment. We had Natalya versus Nikki in one of those matches that never really starts. It just became a brawl instantly. I remember Roman Reigns and Rusev did this a couple of pay-per-views ago, and it was just the worst. It was a non-match and it was terrible. However, this one was a little bit better because it gave Natalya a bit of a shine. She locked in the sharpshooter on Nikki, but I'm still going to give it a down because it was kind of lazy, and this feud is really not doing anything for me at all. And are we supposed to pretend that Nikki Bella is not going to win in the end? I'm almost 100% sure that Nikki Bella is going to win in the end. I'll hold my hands up if I stand corrected, but pretty sure Nikki's going to win. And this segment, unfortunately, gets a down. Next up, Kalisto beat Dolph Ziggler. A massive shock, probably the most surprising result on SmackDown this week. And Ziggler's a heel now. It looks like he's a fully fledged heel. He beat down Kalisto after the bell with a chair out of just anger. And then Apollo Crews came in because he's the new Tito Santana. He sticks his nose in all the other babyfaces' business. I said that about someone else recently, but I can't remember who. But ignore that. It's now Apollo Crews. And maybe I said it about Apollo Crews actually last week on Ups and Downs. That would make a lot of sense if I did. Anyway, Apollo came out. Ziggler beat him down as well because let's make him look weak. But thankfully Ziggler looks strong, and I'm always in favour of good character development. This looks to be a good, overdue heel turn, and I'm giving it an up. Next up, the SmackDown Tag Titles match between American Alpha and the Wyatts. This was match of the show easily. It gets an up. American Alpha retained, which was the right decision. Luke Harper got involved and kind of distracted his boys, and then they lost. And then after the match, once American Alpha had all been like, yeah, we're the best, and they do look strong because of this result, by the way, Orton ducked an attack from Harper, and Harper accidentally struck Bray instead. It should make for a very interesting fallout, especially if it carries on into the Royal Rumble. Next up, oh man, CJ Lund versus Carmella. And I will say this, CJ Lund looked very interesting. She looked like a kind of Mae Young Fabulous Moolah throwback. But at the same time, she couldn't really wrestle, could she? Far be it from me, to say that someone can't wrestle, because I can't wrestle, but I have got in a ring more nimbly than she did towards the end of this match. The end of the match was that James Ellsworth cost her it, I guess. Carmella confused CJ Lund by exiting a wrestling ring, and then CJ Lund was like, what's going on? And then she got out the ring, and then Carmella got back in, and then she got back in. Somehow it was Ellsworth's fault. Carmella hit the code of silence. CJ Lund took a back bump instead of a front one because thankfully she didn't break her neck and lost the match. It's a down. Oh. And finally, John Cena versus Big Baron Corbin. I'm not sure whether to give this an up or a down, really. John Cena won clean, which I think I agree with, considering he's going for AJ Styles' championship. At the same time, Corbin has been having the best matches of his career in the past few weeks, and he's suddenly just back to normal. I'm going to give it a down. I'm going to give it a down because even though I agree with the result, it was kind of a flat, uninspiring main event. I've got no joke for that bit. It was just... And on that happy note, it's the end of SmackDown Ups and Downs. It's a draw, 3-3, for a kind of down-the-line SmackDown. Neither good nor bad, but certainly, and this is the moral of the story, certainly better than Monday Night Raw. There was no Shawn Michaels learning how to dab. There was no Stephanie McMahon refusing to be scared by The Undertaker, who once kidnapped her and tried to marry her in the 90s. F***ing Stephanie McMahon. Anyway, I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Jack_the_jobber. You can follow Phil at Chambers Philip. Yes. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.